Your battery shows 12.6 volts, but the engine still won't crank. So is the starter really bad? Testing a starter motor with a multimeter focuses on 3 key areas: confirming that full battery voltage reaches the starter solenoid, checking for excessive voltage drop across the power and ground connections during cranking, and verifying that the solenoid receives the proper control signal from the ignition system. In many cases, a faulty starter will show normal battery voltage at its terminals, but still fail to crank the engine. In this video, you'll learn how to perform each of these checks step by step using a multimeter, and how to interpret the results to determine whether the problem is the starter motor itself or the related wiring and connections. Number 1. Verify battery health. Before testing the starter motor itself, it's critical to confirm that the battery is in good condition. A weak or partially discharged battery can cause slow cranking, clicking noises, or a complete no-crank condition that closely mimics a failed starter motor. Set your multimeter to DC volts and measure the battery voltage directly at the terminals with the engine off. A healthy, fully charged battery should read around 12.6 volts. Readings below 12.4 volts indicate a partially discharged battery, while anything near 12.0 volts or lower suggests the battery may not be able to supply enough current to operate the starter. If the battery voltage is low, recharge or replace the battery before continuing with further tests. Skipping this step can lead to false conclusions and unnecessary starter replacement, even when the starter itself is functioning normally. Number 2. Check main power supply to the starter. Next, verify that constant battery power is reaching the starter motor. Even a perfectly good starter motor will not work if full battery voltage does not reach the main solenoid terminal. Set the multimeter to DC volts. Place the black probe on the battery's negative terminal and the red probe on the large, thick cable stud, the B or BAT terminal, on the starter solenoid, using the battery's negative terminal as the ground reference to ensure a more accurate voltage reading. The engine does not need to crank during this test. This battery side solenoid terminal should have battery voltage at all times, even when the ignition key is in the off position. A normal reading should be approximately 12 volts or higher, matching the battery voltage measured in the previous step. If voltage is low or missing at this terminal, the problem is not the starter motor. Instead, suspect a loose or corroded battery cable, a damaged positive cable, or poor connections at the battery or starter. This is a basic power supply check, not a voltage drop test, and its purpose is to confirm that battery voltage actually reaches the starter solenoid. Number 3. Test solenoid signal voltage. Once you've confirmed that the starter has constant battery power, the next step is to check whether the solenoid is receiving a proper start signal from the ignition system. Set the multimeter to DC volts. Place the black probe on a clean ground, such as the battery negative terminal or a bare metal part of the engine block, and place the red probe on the small control terminal, S terminal, of the starter solenoid. Have a helper turn the ignition key to the start position. The multimeter should show approximately battery voltage, around 12 volts, only while the key is turned to start. If the correct voltage is present, but the starter does not engage or crank, the solenoid or starter motor itself is likely faulty. If no voltage appears at this terminal, the problem is upstream, such as a faulty ignition switch, starter relay, neutral safety switch, or damaged wiring. Number 4. Perform a voltage drop test. Load test. The purpose of this test is to measure voltage loss under load and identify hidden resistance in the starter's power and ground circuits. Even if the starter receives battery voltage, hidden resistance in the cables or connections can prevent it from cranking under load. A voltage drop test reveals these problems while the circuit is operating. Set the multimeter to DC volts. Place the red probe on the battery's positive post and the black probe on the starter's main solenoid stud, B or BAT terminal. Have a helper crank the engine for 4 to 5 seconds while observing the reading. A voltage drop of 0.5 volts or less on the positive side is considered normal. Any reading above 0.5 volts indicates excessive resistance, often caused by corroded terminals, loose connections, or damaged cables. Next, Test the ground side. Place the black probe on the starter motor housing and the red probe on the battery's negative post. Then crank the engine again. The voltage drop on the ground circuit should be 0.2 volts or less. Higher readings point to a poor engine ground or a faulty ground cable. Number 5. Check the ground connection. The purpose of this test is to ensure the starter has a solid electrical path back to the battery negative terminal, which is essential for carrying the high current needed for cranking. A poor ground connection can prevent the starter motor from operating even when battery voltage and control signals are present. Set the multimeter to resistance, ohms, or continuity mode. Place one probe on the starter motor housing and the other on the engine block or the battery's negative terminal. The reading should show very low resistance, ideally close to 0 ohms, or a clear continuity signal. High resistance or no continuity indicates a poor ground path. This can be caused by corrosion, loose mounting bolts, damaged ground straps, or paint and rust between the starter and engine block. Correct any ground issues before condemning the starter motor itself. Number 1. Starter has power but does not crank. If full battery voltage is present at the main solenoid terminal, B/BAT, and the solenoid receives a start signal, S terminal, but the engine still does not crank, the fault is internal to the starter. This usually points to a failed solenoid, worn internal contacts, or a worn starter motor. Number 2. No start signal at the solenoid control terminal. If the small solenoid terminal, S terminal, does not receive voltage during a start attempt, the starter is not being commanded to operate. The problem is in the control circuit, which may include the ignition switch, starter relay, neutral safety switch, or wiring between these components. Number 3. High voltage drop under load. If excessive voltage loss occurs while cranking, it indicates unwanted resistance in the circuit. The starter may be working correctly, but corroded connections, loose terminals, or damaged cables are preventing enough current flow for proper operation. That's how you properly test a starter motor using a multimeter, step by step, by checking battery condition, power supply, control signals, voltage drop, and ground integrity. You eliminate guesswork and pinpoint the real cause of a no-crank problem. This approach helps you avoid replacing good parts, saves time and money, and ensures the repair is based on accurate electrical diagnosis. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you have questions or test results to share, and share this video with anyone dealing with a no-crank problem.